I was having a conversation with my mother the other day, and she was telling me, she was reminding me that the other day, I think it was either Tuesday or Monday, she was telling me that that was the 6 year anniversary that I graduated from high school. And when she told me that, it kind of hit me because I was like, damn, like 6 years just passed, and 6 years ago I was in high school. I had all these friends, I had all these activities and so much going on. And I feel like now kind of just everything just changed, right? Because 6 years ago was 2019, a year before COVID started. Compared to what my life is now, it's just crazy to think about. I was kind of reminiscing and thinking about like, like all the friends I used to have, because I used to hang out with like this big group of like 10 to like 12 people. We used to hang out every day. All these different, personalities, all these different types of people I used to be around. Like, the whole high school aspect of, and like the whole aspect of going to high school, like it's just, the aura, the way like just school is in general. It's just crazy to think about, like 6 years passes and, my life has changed drastically. Like, and it's crazy to think about, like I'm saying, because like now, like out of all those friends, like I literally talk to like one or two of them. Man, it's crazy to think about like everyone's life has just moved on. A lot of people took different paths. The past and there's certain things that I had to go through to kind of get to where I'm at now. When you're like 17 or 18 years old and you're still in high school, you kind of just feel like you're on top of the world. Like you're young, there's a lot of people around you, so much is going on, and your only main focus at the time is, just going to school, getting through life like at school. Because that's our entire life, right? Our last year of school, we went to school for 12 years and 1 year just everything stops. Graduating high school is supposed to be like this super memorable thing, and that's the day you kind of, your life changes, you get thrown out to the world, right? You have a lot more priorities now. You're getting into the workforce. You're either going to college or you're taking time off to kind of experiment and decide, what it is that you're going to do with your life. Switching from being just this kid who goes to school and that's all you know is school to like now, like you're an adult. Like it's you're no longer a kid. You're an adult. You have to pay bills, you have to get a job, you gotta find ways to finally move out of your parents' house and whatnot. You got car insurance, you gotta get your own groceries, you gotta start, in a way kind of fending for yourself. Life is moving on, and as people know, like the world isn't too friendly. It's not nice, and especially to young people who are unexperienced, it's definitely not nice. You're gonna learn real hard, and it's like it's crazy out there. It's a dog eat dog world. It's crazy to think about because you're thrown out there with no instruction guide into how to progress. Everything is basically through trial and error, and I feel like through our experiences that we deal with in life. And I feel like as a kid, like we're living in the moment, and I don't know. In a weird way, I feel like it's kind of crazy because, and I feel like it's a lot of, not like stress, but it's a lot to put on a kid. Like you kind of want them to figure out. People throw you in this pool of hardships and they expect you to figure everything out as you go and just know, but you're just like everybody else, fresh out of high school. You're starting off, you're barely getting the hang of things, you're kind of figuring out the way things work. Obviously, you're not going to have everything figured out. Obviously, you're going to make mistakes. I don't know. I know I kind of rambled for a while. I was kind of just thinking it was just crazy that my mom had brought up that my 6 year anniversary from, graduating from high school had just popped up, and kind of everything just hit me at once. Like, just realizing kind of, you know, the path that I took in life, the people that I no longer associate with. Um, Which is funny because I feel like I got close with people that I didn't even like grow up with. Like I've gotten closer with people that I met from jobs and through other experiences in life compared to like someone that I went to school with for like 12 years straight, and all of a sudden we just lose contact, and that is it. Like that's all it ever was. Kind of it teaches you a lot, not only like the stuff that you learn through school, but it teaches you a lot of life experiences, like A lot of people will argue that you kind of don't really learn anything, but I feel like as of a social aspect, like, you meet a lot of different personalities, whether it's through the students there, or the friends that you make, or even just the staff or teachers that you meet. A lot of things change. Like you may think you're gonna do this after high school, and then a couple years fast forward, and you end up just realizing that that may not be the thing for you, or you end up picking up a different hobby. You end up just deciding to run a different path that you didn't think you were ever gonna take. Like I was saying, I was kind of just reminiscing and just kind of thinking about, kind of the way my life was during high school. And anyways, though, on another note, I did order another Elgato. My other Elgato kind of took a shit on me, so this is all I really have in my laptop saved for gameplay in the background until that comes back. Hopefully by the time I edit this video and stuff, I'll probably have my Elgato set up and everything, my new one. So, and I think also by the time this video comes out, I think the season would have already ended for Black Ops 6. I know no one really cares about this game anymore because the way COD is and their shitty tactics that they try to drag people in and whatever. That's a whole other thing on its own. I'm not gonna touch up on that because I know a lot of people make videos on how trash Activision is and all this other stuff. So I'm not even gonna get into it. If you know, you know, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I always say, leave any type of feedback you feel like you want to leave. Until next time, peace.